Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to be making some pink opal copper turquoise, and this is what we're going to need for today, so I'll run through it in a minute. If you hear the sound of these chirping frogs, you'll have to excuse me. They're very loud right now, especially in the evening, so we'll just consider them our soundtrack tonight if you hear them. Alright, so what we're going to need today to make this is some alcohol inks. So we're going to need a pink, I have hot pink, metallic bronze, brown chestnut, and white. And then I have some Sculpey Premo translucent clay. I have a pre-mixed piece of Sculpey Premo turquoise. I'll put the color recipe down below if you want to have the exact same turquoise as me in this, but really any shade of turquoise will do. A little bit of Sculpey Premo white. I have my tissue plate and an acrylic roller. I'm also going to be using my Atlas 150 clay roller. Later on I'll probably use a disposable glove, and for cleaning supplies I just use rubbing alcohol and baby wipes. So that's all we need, so let's get started. So we're going to start by mixing our colors. I'm going to start with the turquoise. So in pink opal copper turquoise, the turquoise is more translucent than traditional turquoise is, but it's still pretty solid. So that's why I'm going to be using solid clay to dye this instead of just using alcohol ink, because I want it to feel a little bit more solid than the pink and the white components. So I'm going to take this section and I'm going to mix it into one of these slices. I've sliced them about this thick. We're going to need 3, one for each color. I'm going to mix this one first and I'll be back. So here's the color. I mixed it through on the 0 setting of my clay roller, and then I went on setting 2 until it was nice and blended. It's not 100% blended, but with translucence I prefer that because it adds that element of randomness to the final piece. So next we're going to do the white, and again I'm going to use clay to dye today instead of alcohol ink, just because I want to get it pretty white, and I just find clay is better to do that. So I'm just going to take half of the white I have here and mix that in until I get sort of a creamy white color. Not pure white, but whiter than this. So let me go do that again through the Atlas 150, starting at 0 and then working up to a thinner layer to really make sure it's combined. So that's the color I ended up with. So it's kind of like an off-white, which is perfect for what I need today. All right, the last one we're gonna mix is the pink. So I'm gonna use some hot pink. I'm literally only gonna put like 1 dot of it on here. And even that might be too much. We wanna keep this pink really nice and soft. So I'm gonna mix this in, and if I need to dilute it, if it ends up being too pink, I can always add some either white clay or white alcohol ink to it to soften it up a bit. So let me go do that. And here's the pink. Now with the pink, I'm actually gonna split this in half because I want 2 different shades of pink to mix with in this section today. So I'm going to take 1/2 and I'm just gonna add a small little piece of white just to get it a tiny bit paler. So you really don't want it any more than that, and I'm gonna mix that in together. There we go. So as you can see, it's just like a shade lighter than this top one, which is what we need for the pinks. So now it's time to tackle these individually, because if you look at pink opal copper turquoise, oh, that's a mouthful. But if you look at the stone, each element, the turquoise, the quartz, and the rose sections all have a lot going on individually before they're combined. I could easily just dice these up and combine them, but that's not going to give us the dimension that I'm looking for. So we're going to start with the pink, and what we're actually going to do is marble this up before it gets added to the rest. So I'm starting with this because this will need some dry time. So I'm just going to chop this up just as if I was doing a normal sort of rose quartz cane. I'm just gonna separate out all the pieces here. You don't have to roll them like I'm doing right now. I'm just doing that because it's really hot here, so my clay is kind of sticking together a bit more than it normally does. So I'm just gonna roll them just to make sure all the pieces are nice and separate from each other. There we go. So then we're gonna go in with our white alcohol ink, give it a shake. And we're just going to coat it a little bit. This is where I put on my glove when I'm mixing because alcohol ink stains. It's just easier to deal with it like this. Okay, just coated like that. Now we're just going to set this aside and let that dry. It should dry pretty quickly, but we want to let that dry before we do the next step. Next, I want to do the quartz element. So what we're going to do here is a little bit of a different marbling technique. Look at this. I contaminated my white. I got pink on it. So I'm going to get some fresh white, and then I will show you how I'm going to do this. Okay, so I've got some fresh white. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some little pieces like this and dot them in here. Like this, just like 4 or 5, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through my pasta machine, clay machine, 2 or 3 times. I do not want this to get fully incorporated. I want it to get enough that I can see it streaking, but not so much that it's blending in. So I'll show you what that looks like. So see what I mean? You can kind of see these blobs of white in here that are not fully incorporated. That's what I'm looking for with this one. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to rip it up into little sort of pieces and roll them like this. So I'm actually going to be doing a similar thing with this one to that. It's just a different type of marbling that results in a different effect. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, where I'm just going to coat all of this in a little bit of white and mix it together. I'm going to set that aside to dry, but in the meantime this should be dry. So what I'm going to do with the pink is I'm actually going to form this into a mini cane by just sort of squishing it together and making it into probably more like a little cube. I'm kind of trying to also make a version of this stone that's a little bit more vibrant than what the actual stone looks like. So if you want it to be closer in colors to the actual stone, then you just need to mute a lot of these colors a lot more, but I just felt like having brighter, fun colors today. So once we have it like this, we're just gonna chop it up pretty thick slices. So as you can see, it's nicely marbled now. So I'm gonna chop it up, and then I'm going to cube this up. And this is going to be the cubing that we use for the main slab. So we're just gonna have little pieces like this, separate them out, spread them out over here. There we go. And now my white should be dry, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna take this and I am going to form it into a cane. But for this one, before I do that, I am gonna add just a few small pieces of white into it. The reason I'm doing this is because the white will streak really nicely between the pieces, which will add just sort of a really smoky, almost misty quality to this portion. Okay, that's probably enough. And then I'm just going to squeeze this into a little cube and do the same thing that I just did here. Let's chop this one up. So this is sort of what we're dealing with here. You can see the sort of cool lines that are going on. So it's a different marbling effect, but still very cool and effective. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing here. Chop it up. And then we're just gonna mix it in here. Almost done. I don't know why, but this white is giving me like brie cheese vibes right now. So that's how you know if the colors are right. If it looks like brie cheese, you're on the right path. Okay. Now the turquoise we're not going to do anything to because the colors that we would mix into this are the same that's going to get mixed into this anyway, so there's no point in doing it twice. It's not going to make any difference. So I'm just going to chop this one up normally and add it to our grouping here. I'm trying to make sure I have a variety of sizes as well. Have some bigger ones, have some smaller ones, just because that's going to add more variety to the veining that we're going to have in this slab. So try not to have your pieces all be totally uniform in size. It's good to have a little bit of variety. Go. Now we are going to go in with our brown chestnut color and coat all of this. So this is the main color of the veining that we want to have sort of in the background before we start adding those copper or bronze, in this case, accents. It's called copper in the name, but I swear looking at the pictures it looks more bronze or gold, so I don't know. You can use copper if you want, but I'm trying to go closer to the pictures on this one a little bit. Once you've got all of this mixed in, try to spread it out as much as possible. Hopefully your pieces are not being as stubborn as mine in terms of how much they are sticking together. And then once you've got them spread out a little nicely, we're going to go in and add those metallic accents. So we're only going to do dots of this, but we are going to add quite a lot because we want there to be a lot of this color, but I don't want it to be everywhere. I do want to have some spots where we don't have it. And whenever you're using metallic alcohol ink, make sure to shake it first, because the sediment will go to the bottom and then you won't get that strong color. So let's see if that was enough shaking. Yep. Good. So then I'm just going to add dots everywhere. That looks good. Then we're going to let that fully dry before we form this into a cane. I will note that in my experience, metallics don't seem to ever fully dry. They always stay a little bit tacky until they're baked. So don't worry if it's not 100% dry, but we just don't want it to be super wet. So I'm going to give that some time to dry and then I'll come back for the next step. All right, so this should be dry now. I just cleaned up my workspace using a combo of just rubbing alcohol and baby wipes. With metallics, I like to sort of move it out of the place where it was initially mixed. It just allows all sides to dry better. So anyways, it should be close enough now that I can mix it into this cane. So same process as we did earlier, just sort of squeezing it and then pressing it to form the cane. See, not that much is really coming up, but you always will get a little bit when you're working with metallics. At least I have found that to be the case in my experience. Go. That's a nice cube that we can work from. Now, because it is so hot here and my clay is so soft, I am going to pop this into the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes before I cut into it. It's just going to help it hold its shape a little bit more and not collapse in on itself. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll cut into it and roll it out into the cane. All right, so I've got it out of the freezer, and now I'm just going to slice into it. See what it looks like, keeping the slices relatively thin. You guys, look at that. Look how pretty that is. Then once you've sliced into it, we're just going to lay it out into a slab, however you like. Do it kind of like this. And then I'm gonna go in with my acrylic roller, and I'm just gonna roll it until I can these corners sort of fill in. That way I know they're gonna stick together a bit better once I put it through my pasta roller. As you can see, now we're really starting to get the gold detailing coming out, which is just what we want. Here we go. That looks good. Just like that. And I'm going to take it off of here, and I'm going to go through setting 0 on my pasta roller first, and then I'll go on a thinner setting. So I just like to scrape it up. This is what it looks like so far. See what I mean? The detailing in the pink and the white just adds a lot of dimension to it, which is exactly what we want. Okay, I'm going to go roll this. So here's the finished slab. I rolled it out on 0 and then setting 2. So how beautiful is this? Look at the detail that we have in the pinks and the whites. That's why we marbled them first, just to have that level of sort of marbling in there, which just adds a lot of variety to the slab. So this is ready to be cut into now. So I'm going to cut a few pieces and finish them up, and then I'll show you what the final result looks like. Here's a look at the final pieces. How beautiful is that coloring? Oh my gosh. I'm so happy with how these turned out. Look at that detail. Beautiful. Look at that flash of bronze. I hope you had fun and learned some stuff today. I'll have another tutorial coming in a couple of weeks. If there's something specific you want to see, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks for stopping by.